Hey guys, this is Arm Productions, aka number 473, and I'm back in a Trolls Fairy Tale Part 8! I'm not going to mention it. I'm not. I promise. Okay. 8 is my lucky number. I'm sorry. If you didn't get that, you might think I'm a weirdo right now. Yeah? If like this is the first video you ever watches with on my channel, you might think that I'm the biggest weirdo you've ever seen. Hi, my name is Nana. Nice to meet you. Damn, that intro sucked. I really want to go on with this game because I love it already. I'm gonna tell briefly when I'm done with it what I think about it. But until now, I love it. So let's just get on with it. Hearing my voice, my mother and sister flew to my side. Their eyes widened as they saw whose arm was draped around my shoulder. Oh, this is so good. Oh my gosh, is that the prince? Where should I put him? Hurry and put him in your room. What happened to that meet and greet? I'm not quite sure myself. With the help of my mother and sister, I was able to toss them down the bed and remove his shoes and jacket. He flung his arms around, turning around to bury his face in my pillow. Uncircumcisedly, he hiccuped and began to grumble. Man, he's really wasted. Alacra! My mother glared at my sister, who squeezed her lips shut. I shook my head, not sure what I was supposed to do. Mom, can you keep an eye on him while I head out? What? I'm sorry, dear. I have plans tonight. Cocking my brow at her, I placed a hand on my hip. Plans, huh? I can help. Ow! With a jab to the ribs, they're trying to get her alone with him. Good job, Mother. You're cool. Even if you just do it for the money. My mother pulled Alacra out of the room. No, I need your help with my plans tonight. Mom, what are you talking about? You said... Shut up, girl, and move. After their painfully obvious exit, I shook my head with a sigh and sighed and heading for the bed. He had flopped over again, but this time his bare chest was exposed and his hair lay in a messy heap over his head. This idiot is totally defenseless. I should draw an effect on his face. I poked his nose while glancing at his eyes while he slept. Go ahead and get some rest, you big dummy. Pulling the blanket out underneath him, I tucked him in, brushing a few strands of his hair away from his face. I wrapped his forehead with my knuckles to see whether he was really that drunk. He didn't respond. I shrugged and took my seat on the windowsill, deciding to get some rest myself. What time is it? Why am I sitting on the windowsill? As groggy and confused as I am, it took a little while for the past hour's events to return to my mind. The moon was hanging high in the sky, the glow spilling it through the window. On the bed, with his eyes still closed, lay Prince Damin. Thankfully, he hasn't thrown up and choked on his vomit while I slept. Scooting off the windowsill, I stretches a bit and loosening up the muscles that had grown tight. I walked over to the side of the bed, bent down and poked his cheek a few times to see if he would wake up. Nothing. Sitting at the foot of the bed, I studied his innocent face. His eyelashes were extremely long enough to make me jealous that mine weren't as pretty. I felt a strong urge to pull them out one by one. But before I was able to do anything, he stared in his sleep. Buttercup, you've got to stop staring at me like that. It's getting embarrassing. He turned his head, boring his silver eyes into mine. Trying to get rid of the awkward air, I swatted his forehead playfully. If you're super off enough to talk, get out of bed and go home. I want to go get some rest. Pulling the blanket down, he offered a portion of the bed to me, flashing a playful grin. Nothing stopping you right now. I'm sure that line's worked on a lot of girls too, huh? I could already feel that I was touching on dangerous ground. Why did I care what lines he used to pick up other girls? Yeah, you're right. Dropping the covers, he sat up and ran his fingers through his hair. His words stung more than I would have liked. When did I get so deep into being as affected by his words? Well, if you're feeling good enough to get smart-mouthed with me, you should. Why didn't you show up at my party? I was caught off guard. Why is this all of a sudden? Getting out of bed, I tried to find something to distract myself. He slid off the bed, following suit. Buttercup isn't really chatty tonight, is she? I told you that's not my name. Is it really so hard for you to actually say my name? Do I matter? Do I matter so little that you can't bother with such a small how of respect? I turned to him to face him. A flash of guilt crossed his face. The room faded from dark to light. Clouds slowly drifting past the moon. Oh, I think people are getting home now. Damn. If you're feeling so well, why don't you go home? What are you still doing here?
I'm sorry. I'm back. He opened his mouth, but I continued without letting him speak. The frustration caused by this weird situation spilled out all at once. Don't you think you've gone a little too far? You may think this is all a game, but I don't play games very well. If I have something to say, I want to say, I say it. I don't give mixed signals, and if the only reason you're talking to me is that you're getting a kick out of the chase, I suggest you stop. Go find some other idiot to toy around with. My heart hammered in my chest at the words as the words continued to spill out, almost of their own accord. What did I ever do to you to be treated like this? Don't you think you're overreacting a little bit? He was clearly annoyed as he tried to explain himself. You say you don't give mixed signals, but that's all I see you ever do. What do you... He pulled the scarf out of my hair, causing it to tumble down my face. He held his gift up in front of me. You don't like being toyed with, but you're going around wearing the stuff I gave you? You ignore me to make and go to make goggly eyes with some stupid meet and greet troll? What are you talking about? What was he getting so mad? He's jealous! If you didn't want me to wear the scarf, why give it to me in the first place? Why didn't you come to my party? Because I stopped. What reason did I have for not going? I shook my head, not knowing what to say. I could feel the men's eyes on me. My hands started to get clammy and sweaty. Suddenly it seemed like it was 100 degrees in here. The man was very attractive, but it wasn't his look that was causing this. Everything about him screamed danger, the seductive kind of danger. His hair was tousled and messy, even more attractive than usual. Rubbing my temples, I tried to shut off my thoughts. I cannot believe I've actually fallen for him, so arrogant and cocky, but something just drew me to him. You like what you see? My eyes shut back up as another smirk appeared on his face. Don't get your hopes up, there isn't much to look at. Pushing him aside, I tried to head for my door, but the man stepped in front of me and blocked the way. We locked gazes. I snapped at him to move, but he stood, looking down at me, not moving 1 inch. You're too close. Move. Not until you answer my question. He was so close to me. And the expression in his eyes was making me nervous. I felt myself instinctively take a few steps back. My back bumped against my dresser. For each step I took away from him, the man took one towards me. What is wrong with you? Resting his hands on the dresser behind me, he trapped me between his arms. The smell of cinnamon and spice floated past my nose once again. Am I making you nervous, Casey? My stomach flipped as he whispered my name for the first time. My heart was probably going to pound right out of my ribcage. Quit playing with me, you idiot. I narrowed my eyes, trying to regain my composure. Yeah, there we go. But shortly after making eye contact, I had to drop my gaze again. I just couldn't handle the pressure and the intensity his eyes held. Who says I'm playing? Scrunching my face, I half laughed, half huffed. Yeah, right. Look at me. No, back away, I mean it. Look at me, Acacia. As my name slipped from his lips, I met his gaze. There was something in his eyes I couldn't quite make sense of. Why didn't you show up? I still couldn't answer his question. Finally, he sighed. The look in his eyes changed, replaced with a smirk. It doesn't matter anyways. You're not really my type.
No! Have I done something wrong? Am I losing now?
I could have told you that from the get-go. Picking up his shoes and jackets, he walked out of my bedroom without looking back. Jerk.
No! Damn! Am I losing? I had a...
Wait, was he going to confess his love that night? Yeah, he was telling me why he was teasing her.
Oh no, poor guy!
But don't say... Damn you, Acacia, why do you have to be so dumb? I had a pretty rough night last night, and I could slowly start to feel a cold creeping on my immune system. Today wasn't a good day for me at all to get a cold, because my mother had set up a special get-together with some of her acquaintances that she wanted me to do the desserts for their little brunch. I had an inkling as she was just doing this as a way to show off, but I don't really think this is going to turn out well. As each of my mother's guests waltzed into our little living room, one after another, I could feel their judgmental eyes scanning everything in the room. I couldn't understand why my mother was even associating herself with people like these. While settling down at the plate of freshly baked sweet rolls and croissants, I hurried back to the kitchen before any of them could start asking me personal questions. I must say, dear, these pastries your daughter made are absolutely divine. Oh, these little things, that was just something she whipped out. She has something special in store for all of you a little bit later. Well, whatever it is, it smells wonderful. You're so blessed to have such talented children. Did you also tell me that it was your daughter who did the decorations around the house and the flower arrangements in the yard? I watched, nauseated, as my mother continued to act outside of her character, glancing over to my sister, who was standing behind my mother, and a strange smile pressed on her lips. Waving my hands to get her attention, I wrapped my hands around my throat and pretended to make gagging sounds. My mother cut her eyes at her as she had to hold back her laughter. She turned her attention back towards me, and I quickly placed my hands back down and flashed her an innocent smile. Sweetie, could you go check up on those tarts? I did. Everything is absolutely divine. Blackfoot lets out a loud cough, and I could tell that it was an effort to cover up her snickering. My mother didn't really find my mockery very fun, because all of the three women turned to one another, continuing their conversation. She gave me the deadliest look I've ever seen her muster. After what felt eternity, or at least what felt like 4 hours, my mother started to wrap up the little brush and get together. Everything seemed to have gone smoothly. Whether a group of female trolls gathered together, there is always drama sure to follow. Oh, I almost forgot to ask, how's your daughter doing with finding a mate? This is going to be her 10th year of trying, right? Oh no, it's only her 6th, and she's doing fine. She's actually caught the eye of a very promising young man, and knew exactly who she was talking about. But there was a reason why I agreed to be apart from the old lady get-together. After what happened last night, I wanted to cut all contact from the Prince of Jerks. So the best way I can avoid him is to stay indoors. I have to end the episode here. I will see you in the next one. Sayonara!